walk right out, you can leave me blue. You screamed until the world was torn in two. We could start again, and we could try again, and we could see where all of this goes. We could start again, and we could try again, and we could see if all the water holds. We could start again, and we could try again. Oh girl, well it's your life. Don't let it pass by. Left me there on a stormy night, darkened skies at the scene just right. Watched you leave, tears swelled in your eyes. Know that we could work this out, but I lit that match and you burned it down. Now walk these streets where the ghosts linger hand around. We could start again, and we could try again, and we could see where all of this goes. We could start again, and we could try again, and we could see if all the water holds. We could start again, and we could try again, and girl, well it's your life. Don't let it pass by. We could start again, we could try again, we could see where all of this goes. We could start again, we could try again, we could see if all the water holds. We could start again, we could try again. Girl, well it's your life. Don't let it pass by. Don't let it pass you by.
I'll just turn in a circle a whole bunch of times.
We are the premier rock and punk band of the world.
I'm Michael Burkinshaw.
I'm Taylor.
Colton Shaw.
Colson Lamb.
Yeah,
We are 10th Road.
yeah.
I feel like it's about growing up and learning how to be a human being.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, I think we always kind of thought that it was a matter of just like, you know, telling cool stories in the songs and stuff like that. Talking about things that are real, reflecting a little bit on our experiences. Right?
Definitely, yeah. We wanted to take from our own lives or from our friends' lives or from our families and stuff, instead of like going into literature and being like, wow, Homer's Odysseus was an epic story, let's write about that. We want our own lives to be the epic stories and kind of bring new things into music.
And you can kind of see that too, like if you listen to like really old stuff, it's like, okay, well that's obviously pretty teenage in scope, but then, you know, if
high school.
Yeah, but if you were to actually like look at the lyrics of every, you know, consecutive album we've made, you know, you can almost kind of see, okay, you know, they're teens, okay, they're young adults, okay, you know, they've kind of matured a little bit, and then, you know, by this point, right, it's, you know, I think you kind of have a more mature perspective on things, a little bit more mellowed out. Some of the earliest high school songs we did, I don't think hold up too well in terms of that, but I mean, they say that shows growth, right, so. We chose Start Again and All We Are.
I think we did a trial run, didn't we? Like we did like a little bit of a trial run just for shits and giggles.
We played
and
lots of them.
It just came across that well, and we're like, ooh, this actually sounds good. So
yeah, we had some.
It just came across naturally, really.
Yeah, we had some wow moments with a couple of them. We tried other ones that we didn't end up doing for this session, but
I feel like those two stood out. All We Are is so well suited to do something like this, and Start Again is kind of becoming a little bit more of a flagship song for us. So
I think in the back of my mind, I was kind of thinking this would be something of an acoustic thing, like at least at first, but then like we did afterwards, and it just came across naturally. It
Yeah,
in the
like,
back of my mind.
All
so-
We Are is one of the only ones that has acoustic in it with the 12 string.
Yeah,
so that was an easy
that was
choice.
a lovely touch, by the way.
Yeah.
We definitely had to try out a few other songs to settle on Start Again. It was one that we thought of right off the start, but we had to try it out first.
Oh,
we
probably.
actually have an
Most
acoustic gig coming up where we're doing more songs acoustically.
Nice,
So we're kind of
nice.
figuring out versions of those. And like it's really cool. Like with Start Again, like I found a new way of playing it where that's a finger style instead of like just power chords. So it's cool doing it. It gives me more of a like sense of pride to carry along with me, so I can kind of like, it's easier to put off, you know, bad things that happen because it's like, oh well, I recorded an album, so it like gives me some kind of like inspiration that way. But
I think how great they turned out too was inspiring almost within itself, right? Like every subsequent album that we've done has just hit that next level of production value. And so, yeah, of course, this one just, it came out so nice, and it was like, yeah, this is like obviously radio ready. Like, this is an awesome foundation to work off and actually kind of send away and stuff like that. Has the best kind of professional sheen on any of our recordings for sure. So I think it was just nice to see it like hit its full potential in terms of its sound. And I mean many of the different songs, even the ones that we were kind of crafting in the studio a little bit more versus some of the earliest ideas that we kind of only sort of pictured.
yeah, it's a level of satisfaction that's hard to get from other things.
Your phone call, honestly. Like when I first heard that, it's like, wait, we got Jesse Rhodes actually recording us? What the hell's he doing with us?
My favorite's obviously doing the guitar stuff and like hearing that layer added on and like the difference from before to after. I love that part. And just the end when you're starting to get all the like the more polished sound, you're starting to really hear like what it's going to be, and then when you start getting chills when you're listening to music, that's my favorite part for sure.
I think there was a lot of like hell yeah moments for me, or just like breakthroughs that we had that really we're just like, yes, like that's a big win, right? So one of the earliest ones was when we got Doomsday Blues drums done in just like a take or two. That was awesome. That felt like a nice early like win. I think there's other things too, like just kind of some of those surprises, like the way that we crafted Interlude
I was
together.
about to bring that up, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, right? Because that was one that we just put like our trust in, that we knew it was going to turn out, less so having a specific vision for it ahead of time. And then I also think about the actual Waves sounds on Waves.
Right.
That was such a special moment.
You were fighting me on that at the beginning of that.
I just wasn't
sure. But I wasn't sure either, but I was like, if we don't try it, we're not going to know.
I think the best part is when you get all those tracks recorded and you just hear, even before it's mixed or mastered or anything, you just hear all the recorded tracks and it sounds like the song that you have in your head.
Sweet.
It finally comes to life.
In general, like my favorite moment was kind of hearing, well, I had two if I had to pick, was the interlude and creating that feedback track and just making you be like, no, seriously, just do it the whole way through. It'll work.
It seemed
And,
insane.
To have that kind of come through, and then in Waves, having the drums and having just the way we were able to make that sound, like it caps off the record in like such a unique way, and it's almost like it's a nice little exit or closure to the album. There's not like this, I don't know, because
Like
some of the albums
Topsy Wood.
is really, really intense, no pun intended. It's just, it really is. And then you get down to that point and it's like, with your guitar solo and stuff, and I was just so much of that song, for me, I felt like I got to help steer that song a little bit more, even though it was like really already there, but I was like, okay, I can see where this vision is for these guys. I know what they want, and
That was
I
cool.
know I can get it there, but we gotta try something that they're probably not thinking of. And so with the solo and the actual waves and the drums sounded great, it just all really came together. So
Honestly, there's
Same.
like a few points where like you influenced the songs in a way that they would not have been put together if it was done with somebody else. So like I think of the Waves and Waves, I think of Interlude, I think of you recording Taylor talking about the dopamine screen and then putting it in.
That was a cool happy accident too, for sure.
But like that would never have happened without like your specific thought to be like, oh, maybe I should like try these things.
Queen of Hearts.
Ooh.
That's probably what I was gonna pick too, just because the big guitar solo intro. I gotta show that off.
That's
so
fair.
great track.
Are we thinking the same? I bet we will be.
Coulson, you say yours.
This Town Needs a Hero.
I was actually gonna say This Town Needs a Hero. I was actually gonna say This Town Needs a Hero. I love that song because it was like it's such a unique thing, and it's like, wow, this type of music that I love is like fully realized and represented by like all of us and stuff like that. So yeah, hell yeah, Town Needs a Hero.
It's cool. You guys have a tie right down the middle. If I had to pick a favorite song off the record in its entirety, I would have to say The Trade-Off.
Oh, nice.
It sounds really awesome.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite, just the way it came together, and that one for me was the first one that started coming together, and I remember having some time just by myself before you guys were back, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna mess around with this song. And it was the first one that kind of called to me to come back to it and just work on it a bit. I really like that song.
If I didn't say This Time Needs a Hero, I was gonna say The Trade-Off.
Got awesome moments in it. Trade-Off, like it's got that breakdown part. It's got the like.
Yeah. Did you know?
Back and hits hard.
That's honestly.
Do you know that like we had The Trade-Off a long time ago? Chopped up the whole song, rewrote it, right? Like the bridge part and like the build to the end is the same, but like it's got completely different verses and completely different chorus than the first time. So that's our second stab at writing that song.
Sweet.
That might be the coolest, like as a band, to see that song evolve.
Yeah, we just took like
really cool too.
Yeah, we knew it wasn't good enough. He convinced me and helped me realize that the first version wasn't good enough, and I had to be convinced, but he was absolutely right.
Me personally, I was just happy to get in here. Honestly, the results when Taylor brought in the 12-string for All We Are, and when he got the first couple takes in there and whatnot, the whole thing just rounded out and just came alive. When I first heard that, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be something special, like for sure. And at first, I had my doubts for it. Because I'm like, it's going to be a lot of overdubbing, a lot of whatever, and just a lot of your magic on there just to make it sound roughly what I'm kind of hoping for. He strums it twice. And it just came all alive. So I'm like, he proved me wrong with the first two chords there and whatnot. So I'm just so happy that it came alive when it did, because I did have my doubts for it.
I was not expecting how good of a drum sound that we got coming out of here. And it was a pretty simple setup.
Yeah.
So that was awesome, and like really present bass, just the whole thing sounded way fuller and was like finally the sound that I wanted to hear from our band.
I think this is a little like specific, but I was just really surprised with how the beginning of the dopamine screen came. Like that was completely out of left field. I was just like, oh, like that is completely different. You know, just in terms of like that starting vibe to the song.
It helps it,
yeah, definitely, but like in a way that we never, ever would have thought of before.
Well, as soon as I heard you talking about what the song was about, and I could see the level the mic was picking up your guys' conversation, you were explaining the song, and I was just like, okay, ABC or ABR, always be recording, like, so I just pressed record, not thinking anything, but then you started talking like, you're saying like it's about, and then boom, I'm like, I just had the idea, I was like, what if put this like right there and just like, so it's, and it just really came out, you know. It was very cool to have that, and I didn't know you were gonna go on and say what you're saying and stuff, but it was
that was the mic on the guitar cab, right?
I don't even know what mic it was.
Yeah, it was the mic that you were. Yeah, it was the mic for your guitar amp. Yeah.
So it would have been probably the room mic, the condenser picking it up, and I just was like, I could hear you through the thing. I was like, he's gonna either say something cool or say something about the song. You never know, right? So at the time, I didn't think it was gonna be something that would line up and be the perfect beginning of the song. That wasn't until after you said it, and then I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we threw it in, and then like the way that I was talking and it lined up with like the song starting, it was like it planned it almost.
Yeah.
The little magic part at the end of All We Are, where you're doing the tings. I know it's like, the
That was a bit of a
tempo's
surprise.
changing.
That was a bit of a surprise too, because I was like, oh, we're gonna change that, or we're gonna change that, or we're gonna change that, and then no, you convinced us to keep it. So that's another one.
Since I was like really part-time during the recording due to the tendonitis, I practiced all the songs to record them, and I couldn't record them, and then I heard them after they were recorded, and it's like, it didn't even sound like the same song that we rehearsed. It was just so much more, and just exactly what it sounded like in my head. It was like,
Sweet.
this is the song now.
Hopefully you see us live just like a ton. So hopefully we are on a stage near you and you can come check us out. You can hear more of these road trip songs live. We only actually played some of them one time live at the album release show, so there's still a lot more live exposure to give a lot of these songs. Come see us, come say hi, grab a CD. We're slowly working on what will come next. I mean, you're seeing this, so that means that you're seeing that there's a couple acoustic versions of the road trip songs and one other new one. So that's cool, but we're slowly but surely working on stuff, gonna give it some time to breathe and formulate naturally in a way that all four of us are happy with. We're not gonna rush anything new. But
We are working on new stuff.
But we are working on new stuff.
We're thinking
There's
of
some new
making
stuff
it-
coming down the pipeline for sure.
Maybe presenting them in smaller packages so it's a little more digestible for people. We can just dip their toes in a little easier. Not putting too much on our plates in terms of like, oh, we got to make music videos for everything. We would love to make music videos, but we want them to be like for everything. So you go in, you hear the song, you hear the music video, and it's more condensed but more powerful.
Yeah. So slowly but surely, when the time is right, and then working on getting out there live the whole time.
Thank you and good evening. Next on Intense Reality News Videos, you're gonna see something even cooler.
TikTok time is going by. For a lifetime still I tried. So I thought there was no hope for us. Today that'll change it. By now I thought we'd be up in flames. I almost threw this all away. I got one thing left to say. This doubt ends today. Well, all we have is a little time. I just need someone to come mine. Playing it bad as we're thinking about us, about us. Time keeps going by, there's always another art to find. Please just keep me in your mind. All we can do is try. No one wants to say it's over. Everyone needs someone to closer. I'm still alright moving forward. Just get me closure. Well, all we have is a little time. Just need someone to come mine. Playing it bad as we're thinking about us, about us. Time keeps going by. There's always another art to find. Please just keep me in your mind. All we can do is try. All we can do is try. 'Cause you make me see, you make me smile. How did this go from how I love your eyes? All I hear are lies. We lit the fire, but then you stomped it down to nothing. Can you see the light? Get this sentence right. Little time, just need someone to calm mine. Laying in bed as we're thinking about us, about us. Time keeps going by, there's always another art to find. Please just keep me in your mind.
All we can do is try.
'Cause you make me see, you make me smile. How did this go off from how I love your eyes? All I hear are lies. We lit the fire, then you stomped it down to nothing. Can you see the light? Did we get this sentence right? This is all we are.
That was it.
To quote President Obama, we got him.
This one was awesome, and I hope you agree so too.
Click the link here and here to check out other videos on our YouTube channel. And we hope you like
Make sure
and
you box me
subscribe.
out here.
more
Like, go ahead and put an
content.
ad like right here and whatnot. Just
We got Baghead, normal people, Baghead.
Thank you so much. Thanks for checking out our band. Thanks for giving us some love. And thank you to Jesse Rhodes.
Thank you.